Hello everyone, and welcome to From This Place, a musical tour of the sights and sounds of Jacksonville. My name is Mitch Heeman, and I'm the Senior Archivist at the Jacksonville Historical Society. I'm very excited to be with you here today. We're going to be touring around Jacksonville, visiting some musically significant sites steeped in music history here in the area, and I'll actually be performing songs in these spaces as well that have to do with these sites. So I'm very excited to have you along with me today. This is a sample of the types of programs that we'll be working on that are upcoming, leading up to the opening of our Music History Museum, and that will be, of course, to celebrate the local music history here in Jacksonville and Northeast Florida. We don't want to be limited within those four walls of a museum, so we're developing a lot of interesting programming that will expand out into the community and into these spaces where this history was made. So we're very excited to share all of that with you. Stay tuned with that, and you can visit us at jackshistory.org to learn more. Right now I'm standing in front of the Delius house, which has been moved and now sits here on the campus of Jacksonville University. It was moved here in 1960. It originally sat about 35 miles up the St. Johns River, west of St. Augustine, on an orange plantation called Solano Grove. For a short period of time, it was managed, and it was the home of Frederick Delius, an English composer who lived here for a short time. And we'll go into the house now, and I'll explain more about his life here and how heavily influenced he was by Florida musically and creatively. So let's go on inside and have a look. Frederick Delius was an English composer who moved into this four-room cottage in 1884 at Solano Grove. His father owned the property and the cottage and sent him here to sort of clean him up and straighten him out, hoping that he would be more agreeable to joining the family business, which was in the wool industry. The plan backfired. Delius spent his time really just lolling around and playing the piano here in the cottage, sitting on the porch and smoking his pipe. And one of the most important things happening at this time, though, was he was very heavily influenced by his time in Florida musically. He was inspired by the sounds he heard around him, both in nature and along the river, and primarily from the formerly enslaved people who lived in the area, some of which who worked for him. His foreman was a man by the name of Albert Anderson, and he and his wife Eliza lived here with him and worked for him on the plantation. He was a very curious man, supposedly, didn't really asked for a lot of work, prepared to cook his own meals and stayed to himself, so they were probably a little perplexed by him when he arrived. Another individual who lived here was a young girl named Julia Sanks, who was Eliza's younger sister. And fortunately, she was still alive in the 1960s and had been tracked down by a writer by the name of Gloria Jehoda, and she had a chance to interview her in West St. Augustine, where she was living. And she recalled her experiences here at Solano Grove with Mr. Delius and singing for him quite a bit. Another thing that she remembered, which troubled everyone here, is that Frederick Delius was a staunch atheist. And so, of course, they all took it upon themselves, however they could, to save him, if you will. So the choice musically a lot of the times were spirituals, and this was part of their effort to save Mr. Delius, which never worked, because he died an atheist. But one of the songs that she recalls singing a lot for him that he really enjoyed was an old spiritual called "Come and Go With Me to That Land." And I'd like to perform that here in the house today, sort of breathe that music back into this house and see how that goes. So here we are with "Come and Go With Me to That Land." Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Oh, come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Oh, come and go with me to that land. Oh, come and go with me to that land. To that land, to that land where I'm bound. There'll be no trouble in that land. There'll be no trouble in that land. There'll be no trouble in that land where I'm bound. we all will be holy in that land. We all will be holy in that land where I'm bound. Oh, we all will be holy in that land. We all will be holy in that land. We all will be holy in that land where I'm bound. Oh, don't you want to go to that land? Oh, don't you want to go to that land? Oh, don't you want to go to that land where I'm bound? Oh, don't you want to go to that land? Oh, don't you want to go to that land? Oh, don't you want to go to that land where I'm bound? Oh, don't you want to go to that land where I'm bound? I'm standing here at 2844 Riverside Avenue, more famously known as the Gray House. This is a musically significant space because this is where the Allman Brothers band first formed. Several members of the band were living in this house in communal spaces. Others were crashing here and there on couches and whatnot, and living in nearby homes as well. But this is really where the band jammed and where they played. This is actually where the infamous Jacksonville Jam happened, when they first realized that they had something really special musically together. Duane Allman, the guitarist, who really kind of brought everyone together, afterwards famously held a door closed and announced, anybody who thinks they're not joining this band is going to have to fight their way out of here. He got on the phone with his brother Greg Allman immediately, who was out in Los Angeles. He was fulfilling their contract with a previous band called the Hourglass. This was on March 23rd, 1969, when the jam happened. By March 26th, Greg had arrived all the way from Los Angeles. He had a slew of new songs that he had written and started trying them out with the band. A lot of them maybe they didn't like or kind of said, okay, let's move on to the next one. And then all of a sudden he pulled out a song he had just written called Not My Cross to Bear, which is about a relationship that he had just left in Los Angeles. The band loved it and they worked it out into something really amazing. And I'd like to play that song here today, actually. So here we are with Not My Cross to Bear. I have not come, yeah, to testify about our bad misfortunes, and I ain't here wondering why, but I'll live on. I'll be strong, 'cause it's just not my cross to bear. I sat down, wrote you a long letter. It was just the other day. You said as sure as the sunrise, baby, tomorrow I'll be up and on my way, but I'll live on. I'll be strong, 'cause it's just not my cross to bear. Yes, now, baby. And in the end, baby, Lord, when you're at the end of your road, don't reach out for me, baby, 'cause I ain't gonna carry your load. strong. I'll be strong, 'cause it's just not not my cross to bear. Yeah, 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 not my cross to bear.